Okay, thank you for the introduction first. Then here we go. We use Saipem. First of all, for us, for Saipem, what is an IUV? An IUV is covering the scope of this vessel and this one. Usually for shallow water, for very, very shallow, we are using a small boat, and the biggest one for usually carrying the smallest one for a little bit deeper. In fact, IUV can cover both of the area. In addition, yes, this equipment is working very close from the seabed. This means that we have a higher resolution, a better definition, and high quality of data. For shallow water up to 200 meters, we make the choice to maximize the use of IUV, and since now 4 or 5 years, we perform several jobs with IUV only, like Nene project, where we perform pre-lay as built of about 40 kilometers of line. 40 kilometers of line is only the length of the pipeline, it's not the length of survey, because we are doing at least 3 lines per pipe. Lichengili, pre-lay as built as well, 20 kilometers, MSP2 pre-anchoring survey, 1,500 meter by 1,500 meter area. MSP3 Hazlet survey, more than 120 kilometers of line in a very, very difficult area, more than 4 knots current on surface. Au fond, Hazlet survey, several lines of few kilometers. We will come back on this project. On Zor, Astrange survey, where we were using the BlueView 5000 module on Gavia for Astrange survey mainly. And we are also looking for some other project. Now, in all of our bids on there, we are including the use of IUV. Hazlet survey, it is a typical project that we perform. It was in Nigeria, location of 6 sea lines to survey, scope 27 kilometers of Hazlet survey, offline. Procedure only IUV, duration 7 days, operational day. Mobilization, this was an opportunity vessel for people knowing it was an anchor-only tug. Equipment, 1 IUV, 1 spare, and 1 surface spread. The surface spread is generally very small, 2 GPS, and only 4 people to manage the survey. What we are doing, we are collecting the data offshore. We just perform a QC offshore, and data processing is done onshore. Yeah. Challenge. Last project in the operation, okay. Autonomy of survey regarding general operation, hard environmental condition, means zero visibility. We use, for information, we use the BlueView 5000 for metrology on this project. We had 3 metrology to perform, and we use the BlueView. Strong current, yes, up to 4 knots on the surface, and also we had sometimes, for people knowing, soliton wave. Okay. It was the worst conditions that we can imagine for jobs. Thermocline, yes, around 25 meters, very strong. So, small team, 2 to 4 operators. We were doing with 4 operators. Easy removal equipment, field to field, vessel to vessel. Short time for mob demob, 2 days for mobs, 4 for demob. Small day rate, I keep it as confidential. Sorry. Sea state, yes, up to 4. Max height wave 2.5 to 4 meters. Surveying and diving with more than 3 knots of current. CMOPS exclusion zone, near approached quality data, file level, yes. We got a lot of very good results on this project. As survey vessel availability, it was the survey that the vessel that we use. As you can see, it's not a perfect vessel, but it's what we had. Minimum space, yes. Crew mobilization, we require the FRC and FRC crew, two people. Requirement of crane and crane operator, and a small control room on bridge that we installed very quickly. Okay. If you have some question, don't hesitate. As-built survey performance, no downtime, and no CMOPs for the client. You know that around the platform there is a 500 meters for hidden area. Advantage of the AUV, we launch the AUV outside the 500 meters area, and it's going to the works. It's very, very, very good. We survey about 10 kilometers a day, and we spent 3 days to complete all the line. Day shift was only 12 hours a day. Okay, it's the small things. 5-day operation, sea line, approach, and buried section. Limited transit on deck operation, time wasting, the following slide. Very high quality of data. It's a very, very, very good quality. Regarding the tracking of buried pipe, okay, we had a lot of pipe which were completely buried after trenching more. Okay. The goal was to find those pipes. We defined a specific procedure to find the pipe, but we were able to locate exactly and to get the right location for each pipe. Oops. Yeah. Performance, here it's some information about what we do on the performance that we had. Operation, transit. I don't want to come back on each graph, but ballasting, yes. We come back on this. Day 3, day 2, day 4. All the survey was performed in less than 4 days, more or less, which is a good thing when you know that we had 27 kilometers of line to perform. 27 of line, it's about 100 kilometers of real survey. It's not nothing when you know that we are working only 12 hours a day for safety reasons. HSE and regulation, we have to put the FRC at sea. And to recover the AUV using the FRC means we cannot company HSE regulation. If we compare with a similar survey performed in the same area with the classical vessel and the classical means, Usari, Idaho, which is near Aufond. Okay, it was a 24-inch as built. Aufond is 4-inch and 16-inch. Distance to survey 28 kilometers, 27 for Aufond. Vessel bar protector. No, I don't know if you know what is a bar protector. Bar protector is a diving support vessel. It's a big vessel on which we had to add a multi-beam and so on other survey equipment on the spread. For Aufond, we use the Vertiquet. Vertiquet is anchor and tug, very, very small vessel, just a tug. We don't add any pole, any equipment, any external equipment, just the small spread required by the AUV. Okay. Result, try to do a side scan with DSV, and you will see. You know, it's absolutely impossible, especially with the bar protector. We got a high quality of data with the AUV and multi-beam as well. Budget, no, sorry. I'm not allowed to give the budget that we had, but more or less, what we do with AUV Esprit was 2 times less in terms of price. If we compare, the 2 projects are exactly the same, okay? And the budget for the Au Fond project was 2 times less. We divide by 2 the cost. Okay. Oh, if we make some comparison, we have on the return of experience, there is a time management, positive with the AUV, no downtime. When we have one AUV on Brighton, this could happen. We have a spare. Negative, we have only a single shift. As I said, we are not allowed to work at night, okay, due to the use of FRC for recovery of the UV. Corrective action, we'll try, we succeed to find a solution with the HSE to work day and night, and we have to double the shift. Okay. Operation management, preparation, training. One important point is no CMOPs, okay, more or less. No permit to work for exclusion zone. We go straight, okay, and we manage. Short time operation. Negative launch and recovery procedure for the AUV, as I said. It's always a little bit difficult. The use of the FRC, you have to manage with the crew, 9 crew. Okay. Yes, improve RIB operation, FRC, okay, procedure for launch and recovery. Equipment management, okay, we had one offshore container, and that's it. No tarpaulin on deck, yes, to avoid heating. Do you remember? Okay. This has been taken into account on the jobs that we perform now. Good cohesion between marine and HSE and operation, okay. Communication good, okay, with and data of high quality, yes. It's a very important point. As we are very close of what we are looking for, we have a very high definition. Wish and dream. Following all the experience that we have, I am passing some wish and some dream. First dream that we have, better navigation accuracy. We have to improve the navigation. Navigation of AUV is based on INS DVL, and okay, there is a drift, at least 0.1% of the traveled distance. It's why we have a specific procedure for the survey. We divide by patch of 1,000 meters. We survey, we come back to the surface, we reinitialize the INS, we go back to the seabed, 1,000 meter survey, back to the surface, reinitialize the INS, and go. And we are working by patch, okay? And the problem is with the INS, I don't know if there is a possibility to improve, because people are talking about using USBL in shallow water is not really feasible. As we are working very far away from the vessel sometimes, most of the times. What we do, for example, on CRX project, where we were using AUV as well, we are, the vessel was stationary with a down line for pressure test on the line, and we were launching the AUV from this vessel, which was going to work very far away from the vessel. And in fact, we use the patch methods, and we are not able to use USB. We are too far from the vessel most of the time, and we don't want to have a vessel following the AUV all of the time. Now, if there is a possibility to improve the navigation.
What about a drone boat, a USV, a small boat that is radio controlled?
Could be a solution. Could be a solution, but I have some doubts on this. What you let in surface in Africa finish in the village.
you using any of the nav, I'm not sure which INS make that you were using on this one, but have you used any of the navigation post-processing software?
We use the navigation post-processing all the time.
Okay.
And when we have a well-known point somewhere, we do not perform a calibration, but we perform a test to check, okay, for the QC. But at times it's one of the main problems that we have. This is also adding a limitation regarding the maximum water depth where we are working. Okay, USBL is a solution after 200 meters, even before. But deploying an USBL is a waste of time. And we are looking for, if there is today what we are doing is perfect. We don't need any support on the seabed, we don't need any external equipment. We run the AUV, it works, it comes back and so. But after 80 meters, okay, if you look closely, you start from the surface, you go down, okay? When you are going down, you start to drift with your INS. When you arrive on the seabed, after 80 meters, you are already outside the tolerance. You are already outside the tolerance. And it's why we are limitation today is at 80 meters without any external help.
Yeah, one thing we've also done is a lower frequency DVL, so you can have more range of the bottom line.
Could be a solution, yes. It's in your hand. Better navigation accuracy, yes. Having better solution to significantly improve productivity. I make some calculation if we can make a patch of 3,000 meters instead of 1,000 meters as we do right now. We multiply more or less the productivity by 2. But we have some idea. Okay. Then, yes, what I'm calling purpose bear view, snaking above the seabed. This is a point that have to be, because we have already a very high quality of data. We are trying to get some things always better. It's some things that I see on many projects. AUV is always snaking. Okay, we already had a discussion on this. It's if we can to qualify and to quantify the snaking, we use inside them we are fans of photogrammetry solution, and we use the camera on board the AUV and we post-process and we perform post-processing. Photogrammetric processing, sorry. For the photogrammetric processing, we get a very accurate position of each image, and this allows to see exactly what is by how much is snaking the AUV on the seabed. Having a simplified ballasting process. Today, you know that for ballasting, you are adding or removing some small weight, okay? Cabinda, typical CTD, SVP. We have a layer. The first layer is the fresh water, and then we are with the seawater, and the density is very, very changing. Okay, this means that ballasting is always a small problem, but we are doing the jobs. Anyway, I think also that as you are always like this or like this, and you are always trying to compensate, you are losing a lot of energy. It's always maybe a way to save some power on the AUV. For me, my dream is to get something like a submarine. Ballast, safety weight, on front fin.
You have that on the bigger AUV.
conclusion, AUV are now standard tools for Saipem. We are using AUV, at least for Saipem projects, we are using AUV as soon as we can. It's field proven. When you know where we are working with the AUV in Congo River Plume, more than 4 knots current, Nigeria, quite everywhere, all over the world. We have developed specific methodology, specific procedure. For us, it's now fully operational. But we are also thinking about new tasks for AUV, like it's some things I put here, the MR for maintenance and repair, because it's not something that an AUV can do, but for inspection, yes. LBL calibration, metrology as well. If we can do metrology attacks with an AUV, it will be on top. Okay. We use also the BlueView 5000 on board one Gavia for, I didn't talk about this, but for Astran Chauvet, and we perform some tests in England. Standard resolution of multi-beams on the same with the BlueView. No comment. I like to know what we have on the seabed. It's good success for Gavia. Thank you. I think I'm done. Thank you for your attention.